The CDC plans to unveil long-awaited guidelines today for reopening K-12 schools. And we have details first from a draft internal summary obtained by CBS News. Nancy Cordes is at the White House. Nancy, what do these proposed guidelines say exactly?
Well, Anthony, good morning from a very festive Valentine's Day decked out White House. So according to the guidelines that CBS News has viewed, schools would fall into 4 color-coded categories. They would reopen with full in-person learning in the schools with low community spread. Those would be the blue and yellow zones. As long as there was as much social distancing as possible, those schools could reopen. Schools in the orange zone, where transmission rates are higher, would be recommended for hybrid or reduced attendance with required distancing. Now, this same guidance goes for schools in the red zone if they regularly test staff and students. For red zone schools that don't regularly test, the CDC would recommend elementary schools have reduced attendance with mandatory distancing and virtual-only classes for middle and high schools. Now, these guidelines are also expected to include mitigation strategies like masks and hand washing, resources devoted to under-resourced communities, prioritizing teachers for vaccines, and accommodating high-risk educators with virtual teaching or flexible schedules. Now, officials tell CBS News that these guidelines are still being finalized and could change. And what we still don't know is what rates of community spread apply to each of these zones. We're hoping to get more details later today.
Nancy, as we heard, President Biden says he now has secured enough doses to vaccinate nearly the whole country.
That's right. He says that his government has arranged for 200 million more doses of the vaccine, and so it will have enough vaccine for 300 million Americans, he says, by the end of July. The president acknowledged the logistical challenges in distributing these vaccines, blaming that in part on the previous administration.
While scientists did their job in discovering vaccines in record time, my predecessor, be very blunt about it, did not do his job in getting ready for the massive challenge of vaccinating hundreds of millions of Americans. We started on day one. We won't have everything fixed for a while, but we're going to fix it.
Later today, the president is going to meet with governors and mayors to talk with them about pandemic relief. Many of them have been very vocal about how frustrated they are that the vaccine keeps running out. After that, the president is expected to head to Camp David for the weekend. Tony.
I'll take it, Nancy. Encouraging news on the vaccine front. I'm glad the White House is out in front on Valentine's Day. Thanks.
I kind of want to know what the sign says.
Nancy, what does it say behind you? What do the hearts say?
You know,
peace?
they're candy hearts. We've got hope, courage, love, lots of love, healing, kindness, that kind of thing.
All right,
I agree with you, Nancy. I'm glad they're out there.
I am as well. Nancy, thank you very much.